Well, welcome back. Today's day 8 of 30. 20 up, 20 down, that's 40 minutes, and 20 minutes of swimming. If I cannot swim, then I got to do another 20 minutes of walking, which is kind of hard. Starting to get used to walking on the soft sand, although I got to tell you, it's hard as hell. And my legs are turning to marshmallow. It's starting to hurt a lot. But I got to tell you, my stomach, oh my God, it's solid as a rock. So I kind of like that. Anyway, day 8. Today we're going to talk about escrow management on pre-sales and on brokers. You got plenty of questions on both. So you're going to have to worry about both. Both of you need to worry about this part of your test. So let's go through it one step at a time. First thing we need to talk about is when it comes to the brokers, do you need to have an escrow account? That's the reality. Well, the answer to that is no. You don't need it. And the contracts help that now, right? Because you could deposit the escrow after the offer has been accepted, after you have an effective date. That's a good thing. So you really don't need an escrow account. Should you have one? That's up to you. You're prone to being audited, and if there's an escrow dispute, it is up to you to settle it. So you're going to have escrow disputes. It comes with the business, man. Simple as that. All right, so let's go one step at a time. Can you deposit or can you use a post-dated check? Well, the answer to that is yes. As long as what? The seller agrees to it. You put it in writing in the contract. Now, what must you do with that escrow deposit? Well, you need to give it to whom? The broker. When? By the date of the post-dated time? No. You need to give it to the broker right away. Next business day, which is when an escrow check is to be given to a broker if your broker holds the escrow money. So if your broker is going to hold the money, the agent has 1 business day to give it to the broker. And to be exact, the end of a business day is 5 p.m. the next day. So today's Sunday. You got to check today. You got to have it by the broker when? Tomorrow at 5 p.m. What if tomorrow's a holiday? Well, then you need to have it to the broker Tuesday. That's it. Now, how many days does the broker have to deposit the check? Well, 3 business days, including the 1 day that it took you to give it to him. So what am I talking about? Tomorrow, you have to give the check to the broker, 1 business day. That 1 business day is day 1 for the broker. So the broker only has 2 additional days, which is a total of 3 business days, right? That's how that works. So by Monday, you got to have that check to the broker. By Wednesday, the broker must have it in the escrow account. That's how that works. Monday's a holiday. Okay, by Tuesday, you need to have it in your broker's hand, and then your broker has until Thursday to deposit it in the bank. That's exactly how that works. Nothing else. Now, the broker must have personal funds in the account. Why? Well, checks are going to bounce. What about wire transfer? What about service fees? If you don't have the money, then what do you have? When the bank withdraws the money, who they're taking it from? They're going to be taking it from a customer. So that's why it is extremely important that the broker has to have his own funds in the account. Now, in a sales escrow account, what's the limit? $1,000. That's $1,000 of the broker's personal funds. If the broker has a management company, what's the limit there? Well, the limit there is going to be $5,000. Why more money in management? These things break, man. Toilets break, AC breaks, and a good property manager is going to front the money for the owner. That's what it's all about. You don't want the tenant to wait forever, right? All property managers have a threshold. Any amount after this, just get it done, send me the bill. And then you take care of it at first, then you send it the bill. That's how you do it. Nothing else. Now, what happens if the broker has any amount over the 1,000 or the 5,000? That's called commingling, which is mixing personal funds with customer funds. That's what that means. Now, what happens if the broker takes out the money from the escrow account before he is supposed to? Right? Broker's not going to be around on Friday. Friday there's 4 closings. Broker takes out the money, moves it over to the operating account to prepare the checks for Friday's closing when he's not going to be there. Now, I know why he's doing it. He's doing it to impress his agents. So when his agents bring the closing disclosure, the person in charge says, hey, even though the broker isn't here, we don't want you to think you're not going to get paid. That's a beautiful thing, but that's a problem. Why? Because the broker moved funds before he was given permission to do so. The only time you have permission to move funds is after the closing, not before the closing. So that has a name, and that's called conversion. That's called conversion. Now, if the broker has an escrow account, where must it be? Must be in the state of Florida. Savings Association, regular bank account. You could have it with a title company with trust powers. Can you have it in a 401k? Can you have it in the stock market? No, can't do that. Must be safe. Can it be interest bearing? Yes. But then you have to determine with every single transaction who keeps the interest and how much of it. And guess what? Guess what the broker has to do every month? Every month, move the interest made out of the account. It's gonna suck. So get a non-interest bearing account. Keep it stupid simple. Now, what happens if you have an escrow dispute? Well, see, here's where the problems start. If you have an escrow dispute and you have the escrow dispute with the escrow being in a title company, you don't have to do anything. You have an escrow dispute, you're holding the money in your own escrow account. You must notify FREC. How many days do you have? 15 days. You have 15 business days to tell FREC, I have good faith doubt for who is going to get this money. Now you got another problem. By the 30th business day, you must start an escrow resolution.